I actually live in Denton, Texas, but I'm from Kentucky. I'm a hillbilly from Kentucky that I was a hairstylist. I wanted to be a hairstylist. My grandmother was a hairstylist, and so I sat in her hair salon growing up and watching her do hair, and I loved how she made people feel good. I loved how people would come in and she would make them feel so special, and that's what I wanted to do. So I became a hairstylist. And I married a Texan, so that's how I got here. Yeah, I got here as quick as he says. His story's a little different than mine. I got here as quick as I could, right? I came to Texas as quick as I could and married a Texan. And so my husband was a policeman, I was a hairstylist, and we became financially free at the age of 33. Now I know you're sitting there going, wow, how did they do that? Well, let me just say this. If you don't get anything today but just this, it is not how much money you make, it is how much money you keep and what you do with it. And are you buying assets that throw you off a passive income? Or are you spending your money on stuff? Because as you know, we all know pretty much what policemen make. They're kind of like teachers, right? Somebody else tells them what they're worth. And I was doing $5 haircuts, and you can only do so many haircuts at $5 a piece. $5 make you holler. I mean, I'm gonna just tell you. I was just, this is the late 80s, early 90s, and then you know the Julia Roberts perm, y'all remember the spiral perm? Do I have anybody close to my age? Okay, well, so I was either doing perms or doing $5 haircuts. So I will tell you though, it is always what you do with your money. And here's the beautiful thing about that. It's the choices we make that set us up for our future. Yeah. Okay, it just is. And I share this because I am a simple person. I have a high school education from the great state of Kentucky. And I want you to know that sometimes because of social media and influence, we all see all this stuff, right? We see all these people doing all these big things, and we start comparing ourselves. Stop comparing yourself. Okay, don't compare with their outside. It's all about what's inside. Freedom comes in two ways. You either make more money, or you control your expenses and spend less. That's it. That's how easy money is. Because you know why? It's money in, money out. And you're going to keep more in, right? Or direct it to where it brings you more in. And that's what we're showing. So important that you understand money and the good money can do. And use it that way. And credit card debt is killing our people. Honestly, it should be criminal. Some people are paying 28, 29, 30%, and then they're complaining to Rhonda saying, I don't want to get a mortgage because it's 6%.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then they act like a soldier and go to the store and go charge, right? I mean, we laugh about it, Rhonda and I, because I'm like, 6% is nothing. When I got in real estate, it was a whole lot higher. And I remember my mom and dad were at 18% in 1978 or 80, somewhere in there. I was a little kid. So, but that, you got to understand that 6% is nothing. But if we're not complaining about 28% on our credit cards, you got to get out of that credit card debt. So my goal is $5,000 a month in rental properties. And so, yes, I got loans starting out because there is good debt and there's bad debt. And I got loans on these rental properties, and they threw me off an extra income. So once it got to $5,000 net to my family, I now could pay all my bills, and we could live without going to work every day and having active income. So that's why I share this. I think it's so important because it's ordinary people. You guys, there is nothing extraordinary about me. It is ordinary people doing extraordinary things. But I'm going to tell you this, it takes discipline. It takes discipline. You got to have the discipline to do it. You got to be willing to say no. You got to ask, is this a want or is this a need? Every time you go to buy something. And when you get that raise at work, Don't raise your lifestyle. We call that lifestyle creep. And this is what happens when somebody that's in their 50s or 60s comes to me. They didn't stay living in that house that they could have gotten paid off. They moved to a bigger house and a bigger house. Now, as a real estate agent, I love that. Okay? But as somebody teaching financial freedom, you can have big houses, you can have big things, but you got to go get money that takes care of that. I will never tell you not to have anything. I am going to tell you you're going to have to do delayed gratification early on so that later on you can live like nobody else. I think it's so important, but what happens is in the 20s and 30s, we're starting a lifestyle creep and we never get to a point where we pay things off or we drive paid-for cars because we keep moving the car up. I drive an 8-year-old car. It's paid for. Y'all aren't going to believe this, but we rode in luxury all the way over here from Benton. I mean, your car gets you from point A to point B. It's not an asset. So that's why I teach this.